Well, welcome back. Just a little past 12:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And Giving Day 2016 is off and running. We just met with John Brennan, and we are awaiting the arrival of Jon Poe, class of 1982. As it frequently can go with these sorts of things, occasional technical difficulties do arise. So we're working on that right now. We hope John will be with us shortly. But in the meantime, one thing we're going to talk to John about during his interview is that John is an alumni elected trustee, and we are currently in the middle of an alumni of an election for this year's alumni elected trustees. So we really want to encourage everyone all over the world, Cornellians, to vote in this election for your representation on the Board of Trustees. And for more information on that, if you did not receive your ballot, you can contact our help desk at cornell@electionservicescorp.com, or you can call 866-720-4357. John will, when he arrives, will tell us all about why it is very important to take part in the election process and why having alumni elected representation on the Board of Trustees is very important and one of the unique aspects of Cornell. So now that we're officially into Giving Day, we can start reporting on some of our incoming gifts and numbers so far. And we are only 37 minutes into Giving Day, and we are already reporting just about $25,000 given so far from 248 gifts. So for the 248 individuals out there who have made a gift already on Giving Day, thank you. We have plenty of opportunities for you to engage in Giving Day, not just watching myself interview Cornellians all over the world, though that is pretty interesting in its own right, I have to say, or I'd like to believe that anyway. But we have all sorts of activities going on. We have our selfie challenge. So get out there and take a picture of yourself celebrating Cornell on Giving Day, and use the hashtag
So get out there.
Big Red Selfie is the hashtag you want to use for that. We also have trivia through our Facebook trivia game, Cornelliana Challenge. If you're not already an active member of our trivia game, you can just do a search on Facebook for Cornelliana Challenge, and you will find it. There are 5 quizzes for you to test your Big Red knowledge, wide range of topics. So get in there and check out that trivia leaderboard to see how you stack up against the rest of your Big Red alumni, friends, and family. $254 gifts now. I think my latest update inspired a few more. So speaking of watching us, we will have opportunities for you to win some prizes as we're watching. And right now we have some, I might also add that you may notice if you're watching us through the Giving Day portal, you will see an icon on the bottom of the schedule for chat. And if you click that button, you will be able to chat with other viewers and with all of us. So if anyone's out there and wants to get on in the chat and says hi, the first person to do so, since you're watching at the very start of Giving Day, I will gift you this lovely black Cornell cap. Relaxed, twill, and adjustable. One size fits all. From our friends at the Cornell store. So if you're out there and you're watching, get in there in the chat, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, where you're watching from. And the next person that does that, we'll look you up and get your details, and we'll send you off this lovely big red cap. I don't want to mess up my hair or else I'd put it on, but I got 23 and a half hours more to go and got to keep the follicles in good shape. So let's look at some of our friends that are talking about Giving Day on Twitter right now. We have Donald C. 58 tweeting out, join Cornell alumni, parents, and friends worldwide to support Cornell Giving Day. Thank you, Donald. The Cornell Club of Northern California tweeting out, check out Cornell Giving Day. Help spread the word. Thank you, Cornellians in Northern California, which is where our guest John Brennan is just joining us from. Cornell Class of 1979 tweeting out Giving Day. Cornell University Council tweeting out Giving Day. Joe Lyons, Class of 1998, the Class of 1998. And might I say the class of 1998, Joe Lyons. Erica with a K, join Cornell alumni, parents, and friends. Thank you, Erica. Mary Granger, thank you, Mary, for tweeting out Giving Day. And we're jumping into the chat now, as we have John. John is in via chat. So, John, if you're listening, from Silicon Valley, Jon Poe, Class of 1982. If you're watching in the chat box, you can see John. John, talking to us about how it's been being a trustee. Lots of new things coming to Cornell, including a very tall interim president. He's referring to Hunter Rollins III, who is coming back to Cornell for his third stint as president of the university. Aloha, John. So, John, let's just take it from here, okay? Let's pretend we can all see you. Again, if you want to hear John's answer to our questions, just click the chat icon on your screen. So, John, let's just do some basic questions the time we have left. Why is it important that Cornell alumni can elect 2 trustees each year, in your opinion? Why is that such an important thing? And now we will have to allow for John's response time. So as he responds, continue to keep an eye on our giving board. And John, I don't think we can count John because he was a scheduled guest, John. I don't think we can count you as the winner of the hat, but we'll see if anybody else chimes in. Maybe we'll give you the hat anyway. John says, great, lots of new things coming to Cornell. Oh, yes, we already covered that. So we'll let John know. One thing you might not know is there actually are 2 student elected trustees as well. That's something that you may not be aware of, but are but again, trustees feature not just alumni but staff. Staff have representation, students have representation, and alumni have representation. Jon says it's important because alumni get a chance to influence the future of their alma mater. That seems like a pretty important reason to get out there. Jon, can you talk a little bit about what you've been doing? What you've been doing as an alumni elected trustee? What's the role of an alumni elected trustee? Also, our current chairman of the board was actually I'm getting fed a lot of fun facts here about the board of trustees. Our current board of trustees, our chairman of the board was a student trustee. So great to see. Shows you what the potential is there for the student trustees. Jon says lots of meetings. Well, that's how decisions are reached, right, Jon? Lots of meetings. That's the that's Jon's review so far. At least it gives Jon a chance to leave the safety of Silicon Valley and come back to the harsh climate of Ithaca frequently. I think that's one of the benefits of being on the board of trustees is forcing you to come back to Ithaca. Jon also says trustee to ask open-ended questions to guide the administration towards evolution. Okay, Jon. Yes, Jon says we did have Jon says we did have horizontal snow last month in March and early April. It got a little harsh here. Jon, what got you interested in becoming an alumni elected trustee? I know you've been a volunteer for many years. We get to see you at the Cornell Alumni Leadership Conference. What is it about alma mater that keeps you so actively involved? Yes, Jon says poor daffodils. Unfortunately, we had lots of local flowers blooming early this year because we really didn't have much of a winter, if you can believe that, only to have a week of freezing temperatures and snow come through in early April. So all those flowers that had come out early, well, they were not rewarded for their ambition. So Jon says he is actively involved with Cornell as a volunteer so he can positively influence the future so that the rest of us can retire. Well, that's as good a reason as any, I think, to volunteer. Certainly, I'm sure our previous guest, John Brennan, would have lots to say about preparing workers for retirement. And Jon says Cornell lets alumni affect the future of college education, which is important. Okay, well, thank you, Jon. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We're glad we could talk to Jon a little bit via the chat. And again, the contest is still open. Jump in the chat. Tell us where you're from, where you're watching from, and I will happily reward you with this lovely Cornell hat from our friends at the Cornell store. Thank you, Jon. Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll have Harry Chiam from Australia. We're going down under in the next segment to talk to Harry. And from the class of 1985. we will be back, and we'll have some fresh numbers to update you on when we return. Oh, and let me give you one more plug. If you missed it in the beginning, if you did not receive your ballot, so we're talking about voting for the alumni elected trustees, you would have been emailed a ballot with a voting identification number. If you have misplaced that or you can't find it, you can contact our help desk, which is email it at cornell@electionservicescorp.com or call, I believe, toll free. Usually if it starts with 8, it's toll free, 866-720-4357, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time. So get out there. It's election season. It's primary day here in New York State. So lots of voting at your fingertips. We'll be back in 10 minutes.